Well, hello, my YouTube friend. It is with a great deal of pleasure and a honor that I will present you this video today. For those of you who know me, you know that I got this knife some days ago. And knowing how crazy I am when I get a knife, you might be surprised that I do this video with some delay. But actually, there is no delay. I really wanted to do this video today, especially today on July 13th, because this is the day where baby Joseph Fischer, Frank Fischer's first son, will come to life. You know, Frank is like family to me. So I made some reviews, some videos about knives from artists that I like, some others that I don't even respect as businessmen, or yeah, I don't really respect them as businessmen, but I can respect their craft. And you've seen one of my latest video about Turpin. I know all, and I've talked about that, all the issues that you can have with this guy, yet I can appreciate his knife. But man, is that more satisfying to get a knife from a person that not only you like, but you consider as family, because Frank to me is like almost family. I mean, I cut bread with him and his family, and yeah, it's a guy that I love. And how, man, how again, satisfying it is, not only to get a knife from him, but to me, probably his best achievement to date. He's made such a great things, and you know that for sure. I mean, there's no question for any of you that Frank Fischer is a tremendous maker. So even though I love him to death, I don't think that I'm going to be any biased, you know, when I'm going to speak and present you his knives. But luckily, any one of you who follow me, I'm sure, have your own eyes, and you can appreciate all the beauty that this knife will have to offer. But I'm gonna make some pollution sound, sorry about that. I am who I am, and I'm gonna present you this knife anyway with some sound and not only images. So, when I arrived at Blade 2016, which was my first one, but that's not a matter of the day, we had an evening with some makers and some collectors, and Frank was here with his knife in hand, and I immediately felt for this one, because I don't know, some knives like that, you just have them in hands and they it's just like something that it's obvious, you know, and to me, immediately, even before seeing any other knives, I knew it was the knife of the show. And even after Blade, I am absolutely positive that this knife is the definite knife that stole Blade 2016. Incredible. So what do we have here? Actually, a collaboration between Frank and Todd Jr., his brother, who recently got into knife, but after working every day with Frank, got to get really incredible skills. And for those of you who own his launch, you can tell that the quality is definitely there. So here, basically, we have half of the knife with, which is Todd's design, which is the handle of the launch, and of course the blade of the battle from Frank. But basically the knife itself, from what Frank told me, is a true collaboration of the two, and I like it like that, absolutely like it like that. Why is that knife superior to me? Not superior, but what is really special about this knife? First of all, I absolutely adore the design of the battle, and the handle of the launch is just superb. Mixing the two of them is just incredible. The battle, I took issue with that knife because of its ability to be a good EDC. It's only a dressy knife, something that you're gonna fondle with, and that's it. But this, my friend, is a definite user. And you know, I've talked about that relentlessly on my videos. Knives are, I mean, I can describe them on three major points. The tool, the the craftsmanship with the mechanics and everything, especially on the folder, of course, and the artistry. And this knife has it all, my friend. Absolutely has it all. And not only it has it all, but it has it all in a way that I'm going to try to describe. The tool first. Here you have an absolute perfect EDC. I mean, that is a knife that you can use on a daily basis and better than any other knife, even from the production. The only thing is that the double recurve doesn't make it for... how I'm going to put it that in words. I mean, you know that, of course, with that cutting length, and especially with the recurve, okay, for sharpening task, for cutting task, it's not going to be as nice as a big draw point, but whatever, regardless of that, this is a perfect EDC. Look at that. I mean, we have here a high-grade titanium scale, and look at the thickness of those slabs of titanium. What can happen to a knife like that? Look at the strength, look at the lock geometry, the nice top-in that you have here. It's a rock-solid knife, rock-solid handle, very... Even though the slabs are quite thick, because of the contouring, it looks really like a thin knife, and it handles perfectly well. And that handle actually could carry and could handle any task that you would put it at use. I mean, that's just incredibly well thought for a user. And also the finish of the handle. We're going to talk about the blade later. The finish of it makes it for a user. Look at that. I mean, the marks are a signature mark. I mean, this is exactly how it comes from the maker. This deep stone wash with those, it's no scratches, not even think it are scratches. But that is the finish that comes from his shop, and that's just an incredibly well done finish. Very, very dark. And I absolutely adore that. So, my friend, this, of course you can carry that. What would happen? That's just incredibly well done and incredibly well thought for EDC. Now, the blade. Again, about the tool. We have here a Senmai with the core, which is CTS XHP. And that, my friend, is one excellent steel for EDC. I mean, it's purely done for cutting, So that is a knife that you can use. You have a strong metal, you have a strong handle, and it carries perfectly well in the pocket. So that is an absolute EDC. Now, that is for the tool, which is something that is quite obvious, but I think that, I needed to talk about that. Now, the mechanics. Here we have a flipper. The mechanics are absolutely tremendously upgraded from what I've seen on Frank's previous knives. I mean, this is one of the snappiest. Hear that. The noise is incredible. The action is fantastic. The lock, again, geometry is perfect. Rock solid. Absolutely no effort to disengage the blade. Hear that. Boom, it's sucked inside. It's absolutely perfectly centered. Look at that. Spot on. Look at the tip. Absolutely incredible. So the action and the mechanics on this knife are incredible. Incredible. What can I say? Yeah, it's on bearings. So yeah, of course I like washers better, but man, it's just an amazing knife and smooth as they can come, but it's on bearings. So the bearings makes a lot of things in that. But again, the mechanics, excellent. Now let's talk about the artistry, shall we? This knife, I love it to death because it has also a kind of dressy finish, but with accents. The point that I don't like, with dressier knives, is the fact that you cannot carry them, and you're really afraid of, hurting them. But this is what I adore on those knives. You have dressy accents all the way around on the knife, and yet it doesn't pollute the fact that you can use it as a tool. So the handle, as I told you, has this deep stone wash, which is really nice for EDC, but look at the accents now that we have. Look at this custom pivot. Man, isn't that incredible? With the inlay of Mokutai here, the blue accents underneath the pivot. Just flush pivot here. The same gentleman on both sides. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. Then you have the accent on the clip. And look at that. I mean, the clip is it's cut perfectly well for the holes. I mean, you know, the rounds to be here. I mean, it's not in the middle. This is well thought. It's cut exactly where it is. And let me tell you something about function, my friend. This clip is one of the best functional clip I've seen. It's small, thin, but yet it's very thick, and it holds perfectly well in the pocket. I've held this knife for the last 3 days, and it's just perfect. So the accents of Mokutai. Look at the back spacer now. Contoured Mokutai, very nicely done. Very nice. What can happen to that back spacer? Nothing. What can happen to that clip? Nothing also. I mean, it's dressy, accents, and it's also titanium. So yeah, this it's just perfect. Perfect accents of dressy parts on this knife. Then you have also the accents, not the accent, but the contrast that you have with all the edges all the way around from the back to the front that are polished. You know, look at that. Even the spine of the blade is polished. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Look at, and the contrast with the stonewash and here the polished edges is just phenomenal. Contouring, great. Nice holes. Very nice hole, nice pattern. Now the blade. The blade, of course, I absolutely adore. You know me from Rexford that I like now. I like the fact that it didn't go from this, you know, funky compound grind that it used to do for the battle. This is the grind that I prefer on the battle. A full hollow grind all the way around. As I told you with McGuinness and Rexford, this is the most difficult thing to do, is to do a perfect hollow without any bumps whatsoever. And you have a double grind here on the back, I mean on the bottom, and the top grind also, which is from here to here, a nice hollow with the harpoon. Absolutely perfectly done. And I got lucky, my friend. I got lucky because Frank got a piece of Sanmai that is absolutely phenomenal. Look at this pattern. This is the most even pattern that I've ever seen on a Sanmai. Look at that. I mean, it's just amazing pattern. This is not Frank's doing, of course, it's just luck. But how lucky I am, it's just incredible. And now look at this line here and the flat that is, you know, really narrow, and it comes narrower and narrower to get to that line that is absolutely pure perfection. And also something that you might have noticed is the finish on the core. As you can see, it's a satin finish. Satin finish, I mean, the CTS XHP doesn't come with a satin finish, you know. Only Armor Core or 6K comes with that finish. To get that and that beautiful satin, look at the grind lines. It almost looks like it's a hand rub, actually, of course, but it looks like it. You look at that. I mean, it almost looks like you put some hand rub and you added some Damascus on it. To get that finish, not any maker will be able to do that. Usually your CTS XHP core will be black here and you won't have this grind, and not this grind line, but the hand rub line. Look at that. Look how, what can I say? I mean, as I said, I mean, you have eyes, you can appreciate that. It's just absolutely amazing and awesome. But I'm not going to finish on that awesome because I have not a lot of things to say, except that I wanted really to thank Frank for that, and I really also wanted to wish you all, my friends, to get the opportunity to get a knife like this one, because hopefully I conveyed you the passion that I have for this knife, and hopefully it was kind of obvious. One word about the tab. I've always talked about that. I like the fact that the tab is at the level or upper the pivot, and with, you know, this I mean, going up. This way you can light switch it, because here it's stuck and it's really nice for light switch. And he added some jimping here for those of you who like to push flip. I'm not a push flipper guy. I like, especially when it's done like that. Look at that. I mean, the finger won't go anywhere and it's snappy as they can come. We are now getting to the 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this video as I enjoyed to do it, and I'll catch you very soon for another video. Bye bye, my friend. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Frank.